sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me a figure flee. Me have to take away myself. Me have to take away myself. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. Have to take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Surely I leave where I is. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Tuesday, and as always, I'm going to hit you with it. If it's Tuesday, there's an election going on somewhere in the United States, in some county, some city, some metropolitan area. There is an election. Google it if you don't believe me. You'll find it. But today, we have our first series of Caribbean Youth Voices. And we have our panel are in the room, ready to go. And so, without any further ado, we're going to go right into things. But before I go straight into things, I'm going to bring in Flavius and find out what is happening in his neck of the woods. Also, Courtney's here with me as well. Flavius, top of the morning. Let me shout out also to the panelists as well, or invitees who are also in the Zoom. Top of the morning, everyone. Top of the morning. I guess everybody might mute. So,
yeah.
What's happening in your neck of the woods, Flavius?
Well, we have nice sunshine this morning.
Kill me with it.
But
now.
I don't but I don't know how bright it is in the country, because we are heading for a one-party state. Time
You're rubbing that one in, huh?
The People's National Party have imploded, completely gone.
Don't worry yourself, man. The same thing happened back in what? In the 90s, the JLP party, they went problem too. So it's a cycle.
No, this is huge. When you have a petition out now to bring back Peter Phillips.
Don't worry yourself. Don't worry yourself.
But who they discarded,
Don't worry yourself.
He's the only savior.
All right. So, Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods, man?
Well, top of the morning to all our guests and listeners all over the globe. Well, in my neck of the woods, presently it's overcast. We had rain in the morning, some drizzling and all of that. But it's expected to rain later on, because we've been having adverse weather conditions over here.
All right. So that sounds good. Well, on my side of the my side of the hemisphere, everything is good so far. Now I'm going in a weather report, because mine's in a bad condition. So we'll figure that one out. So
all the weather is said, when you must stand on our yard.
That sound good. But before we bring in our panel team inside the Zoom this morning, let me just play this one. And actually, I have two songs I'm going to play before we bring in the panelists. Them. So this one is "Silence" by AV Antonio Valier.
Was silence a defense? When did we start to retreat? Tell me, when did dignity and justice disappear? When did it not matter? Tell me, when murder was accepted? Why have you not spoken? Take a stand. Were you not watching the freedom fighters? Martin Luther King, Bob Marley, Rosa Parks, our heroes? Tell me, when was silence a defense? Am I alone? Am I the only one hurting? Where has everyone gone? Close mouth? Keep silence? Well, no more. If I must be alone, I must to stand for truth, God's truth, to stand for justice, not to withdraw. I will pay the consequences. Am I in fear? Sure, it's a human sensitivity, but it's through fear that courage is built. Can I withstand? At least I will try. But I guarantee that everyone will know that I spoke out and that silence was never my defense.
Self-mastery. On the journey to self-mastery, travel light. Unpack the baggages of expectations, people-pleasing, and likes. In the temple of your soul, work out your own salvation. The past is gone, nothing to salivate on. Learn from it. This moment is all we have. In it bears the seed of hope. Make every minute count. Water its
Yes, we're back. The new park. I'm gonna ask all of you in the Zoom room this morning to unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. And introduce yourself one by one as I call upon you, okay? Let me go first with the ladies. Let me see if I can find more ladies in the room. Okay. All right. Is that what's I call her name again? Queen Bees, honey. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am here.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
I'm Wilson.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kateisha Allen, otherwise called Queen Bee. I am from Jamaica, St. Elizabeth. And I am a beekeeper. I care for a lot of bees. I am a fun person, an entrepreneur. Yeah.
All right. Simon, you want to go next?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kateisha Allen.
You can turn down your, whosoever have them volume on, turn it down for me, please.
St. Elizabeth.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Simon Preston. I'm from St. Andrew, Jamaica. I'm
Okay, go ahead, Simon.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope all is doing well. My name is Simon Preston. I'm from St. Andrew, Jamaica. I'm a sportscaster at Television Jamaica. I don't necessarily have a nickname, but I'm looking forward to the discussion this morning.
Okay, good. All right, Anord.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Are you hearing? Yes, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, I am Anord Sitchin Samboy. I am an educator, a teacher of English and literature. I teach at the high school. I do a little bit of entrepreneurship, and I'm also a linguist. Thank you.
All right.
Linguist.
Who else?
Good morning. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
Everyone here.
Grand Rising. Can't hear you.
Oh, hi, Marge. Hi, Francine.
Good morning.
Kateisha, Simon. Good to see you, Brother Anord. Did I get everybody? Flavors?
I'm here.
Okay. I see RG.
Courtney.
Big Courtney with the big voice there, right? All right.
Okay, everyone is here.
Okay.
Beautiful. So, Franco, would you like me to go ahead?
Go ahead. It's all yours. If you notice,
Okay.
I'm not online. I'm not on screen.
Well, again, I want to thank everyone for being here for the Caribbean Youth Voices. As I said, it is important that we give the youth a chance to voice their concerns, their opinions, and whatever is going on, so we can kind of bridge that gap between the youths and the elders. That being said, I'm going to read a brief intro on each of you, so everyone kind of knows who is who and what is what. So I'm going to start with Dom. Dom the poet, okay? She's a writer and a poet. She's been writing for 10 years, and she's always found herself being inspired by everything and everyone around her. More than anything, she found being a voice for those who believe they don't have one. She currently has one self-published collection of poems, which is available on Amazon, and we will provide those links as we go along. The next person that I have, which already introduced himself, is Simon Preston. Some of you may already very well know Simon. He's a television presenter, I believe, in sports, and he's also the recipient of the Prime Minister's Youth Award in Journalism in 2013. So Simon, we know you feel well at home. Beautiful. Okay, we have, Kateisha Allen, known as Queen Bee. Beautiful. She's 27 years old, and she's an apiculturist and an entrepreneur that hails from the parish of St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. She is a nature person, very passionate about bees and the environment. She is the owner of a brand called St. Best Golden Honey Drops. As a beekeeper, she rears and cares for over 100 beehives. Okay, and her topics of interest are about farming, and farmers need to be more sensitive to the bees. Okay, so we're going to be discussing agriculture as well. Oh, and I have someone I know very well here, Anord Sitchin. Now, he was born in Tanzania in East Africa, but he resides in Jamaica. And he has been living in Jamaica for the past 15 years. Anord is an entrepreneur and founder of an introvert company limited. He is the teacher. He's also a teacher at Anord Bay High School.
Bay in the house.
Woo!
Really?
Oh, yes, Flavius. Brother Anord, you're in Flavius's neighborhood.
Yes.
St. Mary me come from.
Oh.
So we have a beautiful lineup here. Also, I want to take a moment, if I can. We have the Jamaica's music festival, and we have Marge the poet that is here on the panel. Marge, it's beautiful to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. And Francine is here. Okay, I think I got everyone.
Is that Francine? I was wondering who was that lady over there.
That's Mitchie Boo Boo Boo.
Top of the morning, Francine.
Morning.
Yeah, morning, Francine. Morning,
Mitchie Boo.
My eyes are dim. I cannot see. I left my glasses at home.
So everyone is here. Okay. Courtney?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, my dear, would you like to take it from here, or shall I continue?
Courtney sound like he's sitting right beside.
Yeah, you can continue. I'm just loving it, and I like hearing your voice. So go ahead.
All right, no problem. Okay, so what I think we should do at this point is to get started, since we're all here and present. Does anyone have any that would like to speak first? Or should I just choose? All right.
I think go with Queen Bee. Go with Queen Bee.
Hold on.
Go
right ahead, Simon, please.
No problem. For everybody that has joined in this morning, and for those just coming into the chat as well, all protocols observed. Good morning, and whoever will get the opportunity to see this recording moving forward, it's an absolute pleasure to have an opportunity to speak with you all, and thank you very much for the invite. I've been following the work in the WhatsApp group chat that you all have been doing, and it's clear you all have an intent and a positive role moving forward, and there's no doubt in my mind that you all have a bright future ahead of you all. I'm not one of those individuals that are going to speak for half an hour, 45 minutes. I like to go to the point of things, and I try my best to encourage as much as possible. And I know a lot of people might be saying, what is Simon really going to speak about? So without further ado, so in the industry that I'm in, as we know, when it comes to broadcasting, the way information is presented to us, it comes in a manner that sometimes you say to yourself, why don't I have that? That is interesting. I want that. So in media, you find that there are subliminal messages that are sent to psychologically manipulate your brain, your mind, and all of that. And you see that in TV shows, movies, commercials. But what do they really, really put into words? They make you feel like there's something you're missing. And what is it that I'm really speaking about? Well, I'm speaking about something in the matter of relationships, having a significant other. We're in this time frame where you're forced to have everything all together: land, car, wife, husband, money, everything at the same time. When you're trying to build your empire, you're trying to build yourself, you're working on yourself as a human being, you're making strides, you're making progress. And the pressure that is put upon family members, perhaps peers as well, the media, to have everything at one time. And sometimes it can be unbearable. Sometimes it can bring about anxiety. Sometimes even tears as well, depending on the individual as well. And it is going to hurt when you hear a person say, so you don't have a boyfriend yet, you don't have a girlfriend yet, what's going on? And the reality is that's the reality of the situation that we live in. That's the society we live in. I'm 27 years old. I'm not in a relationship. But what I say to you all that are having these doubts in your mind, what is wrong with me? There's absolutely nothing wrong with you as a human being. Absolutely nothing wrong. The heart that is meant to love you will be there for you. Everything is time. The Almighty will provide. There's absolutely nothing that you have to be concerned about. You work on yourself and every single thing will fall into place for you. Whether that might be your career, your health, your spirituality. You focus on those 3 areas, 2 of those 3 areas, whatever it might be, and you will see the progress that is needed in your life. You will attract that energy. You will attract people that want to be part of the progress you've made, that want to be part of your journey, that want to be part of your movie, your path in life. It will happen. It's not a matter of if or maybe. It's only a matter of when. Patience, yes, is a quality that throughout the course of our life we've been trying to develop. It also comes to faith as well, which, as we know, we can garner from the scriptures and also from the Almighty as well. So we can have that. So as you continue to work on yourself, your poetry, your career, your task at hand, your family, once you continue putting your priorities first place in life, you will see everything else work out for you. I have absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. I hope this piece of encouragement shows to you that you are fine as a human being. There's nothing wrong with you. You are enough. You are an important individual. You have something to contribute to society. You are special. And I hope you all realize from all of this that the individual you are today and how things are moving forward, there is a bright future for you, for sure. I hope this piece of encouragement that I've given you spurs you on, lifts your spirit, because confidence will certainly take you towards that next chapter of your life. I wish every single one of you all of your best in your endeavors, and I trust moving forward as you continue on this path that you will continue on that road to success. Thank you so much for having me.
No, that was beautiful. So let me ask you something, Simon, if I may.
No problem at all.
I want to make sure. You started with you're not, you don't have children, you don't have this. Now, if I'm correct, I think I've heard it, we all have gone through it where you don't have these things yet, and all your parents and you go to church, you go down the lane, you go to mother so-and-so, you're not on the picnic yet, you're not on the baby, what you waiting for? So that's a very good point. I really like that. Francine, what do you think about that?
You know, I'm about to talk on this. Simon, I am impressed. And I'm happy you made points like those. You know why? It shows me that you're a leader and you're not a follower. And if you go ahead and you set your goals and you stick with them, you know exactly what you want. So you would not differ just because somebody else is actually doing it. And I love that. If more young persons would have that strong mindset, I mean, we would have a better place today. It is amazing because not because you don't have certain things in life, you know what you want in what time zone, and you must know when you are comfortable in it because you going into a relationship without achieving certain things, you're gonna feel as if you're a shortfall of a lot of things. So before you go ahead and start that, you get your things in order. I am so impressed. Continue keeping strong. Continue keeping on the right track. I can't even say to you don't be a follower anymore because you already have that sorted out.
Thank you.
And your children are gonna be beautiful when you start.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, a quick question for Simon before.
Hold on, Simon. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay, Simon.
Yes.
Yeah, Simon. Conversation you mentioned something that that is very interesting to me about the media, being like this principal entity that give people or young people sense of materialism and also cause anxiety and depression. Can you just expand on that a little bit?
Yes, in a sense, when it comes to specific things like commercials, TV shows, movies, it gives an impression that you are missing out on something and you're making comparisons, but comparison is the theft of joy in a sense. You're saying to yourself, well, but he's 25 and I'm 27, so why is he married? Why does he have a relationship and I don't? When he is in a completely different path from me. So what is the point in making those sorts of comparisons? My journey is different from your journey compared to other person's journey. So the way the media is trying to portray together the use of the subliminal messages, the pictures, the videos, it's put together in a manner that makes you feel like you are missing out. You're supposed to get off your couch. You're supposed to purchase this program. You're supposed to go and get this sort of subscription and fork out money and to get a dating coach and this and that. And it's just really, really putting a lot of pressure on young persons. And it could, in a sense, take your mind off that goal, that degree you're working towards, that career path you're currently on, that spiritual growth when you're trying to build that relationship with God. So for me, in a sense, you have to take the sense out of the nonsense and make wise decisions.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you. All right, thanks.
No problem at all.
Come, Max, unmute your mic, Max.
I apologize, Brother Anord. Do you have any questions? I see you fidgeting over there. You seem like you have something you want to say. Unmute your mic. There you
definitely. Yeah. I have to agree with my brother Preston. In that sense that I am 24 years of age and I don't have a significant other. Now, you mentioned a factor here that is really this affecting factor. It's not only a factor that affects relationships, but it affects the overall development of anybody. So you mentioned the media and the role the media plays in influencing the masses. No, we don't only have media, dictating what is right and what, but we have media influencing our youths to do a lot of things that are detrimental to them. No, you mentioned something about if I remember, you mentioned something about the media, if you don't have certain things, if you don't do certain things by this age, whatever, you're missing out. And then I think it has to do with the individual and what you want in life. You see, when you watch other people and what they're doing, you feel left out. In other words, you want to run the journey of another person. No, And what I'm learning from this is that you take your own time. You take your own time. No rush thing them. Just take your own time, and you build. You know, your timing is different from other people's timing. So thank you for that outlook, and I really endorse what you're saying, Brother Simon.
That
Thank
was
you very much,
beautiful.
brother. I appreciate it greatly.
Hearing from the kings, the young kings, that's beautiful. Now we have some queens in here. Dom, would you like to, Dominique, I believe her name is, would you like to, the poet, have in on this, please? Or are you, my dear?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Simon. I mean, I'm younger than both Simon and Anord. I'm just going to be 22 in about a week now. Yeah, but I have always been told since I was younger, pretty much my brain is older than my body might seem. So I think at this point I might be 30, but I definitely agree, because even at my young age, it's those questions that people still ask. You know, you go and look for somebody and it's like, I don't expect you to breathe it because you're young, but you know, I'm like a boyfriend, not plan to do all because it's just like, can I get my life in order first before like I start to think about anything else? But I do think, as Simon was mentioning, it's a societal thing, and it's also a cultural thing, because if you study other cultures or if you embrace other cultures, visit different places, you might realize that is not how they behave with their younger ones, or, you know, their young adults there. So I do think it's a huge cultural and societal thing. And as Anord was mentioning with social media has its positives and its negatives. And as Simon, I'm sure, very much knows, since he works in the media controls a lot of how people think and a lot of how people feel. And as Simon mentioned, you know, when you see something on the media, you're just like, geez, I mean, these people seem happy. Like, why am I not happy? And it's like, what you see on TV, majority of them people are not happy. They might act for show with something, but them probably sit and go home and a ball and a eat a tub of ice cream at night time. Because they're lonely. But we just assume that they're not, because their life seems to be put together. Sometimes a lot of those people, that's not even what they want to be doing. That's not their actual career goal. But that's what's making them money. So they go in there and they just continue to do it because they're like, oh, well, I get in the money, you know, so let me just do it. So I do think sometimes, especially with how society is, it can be hard for us to really look at our goals and say, okay, is this really what I want to do? Am I willing to actually put in the work for this? Because people doing this and people doing that, and it's making them happy, it's making them money. Maybe if I just do something normal and get some money, we are good. But I don't, like, for me personally, money isn't going to make me happy. I mean, yeah, if I look at money, I can, you know, do more things. By the end of the day, if I'm not doing what I believe was my purpose and my passion, then I'm not going to ever be truly happy. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Well said.
Interesting.
Can I just interject?
Wait a minute. I would like all of you to have a chance, and we did not get Kateisha or Queen B in her 2 cents as of yet. Queen B? Kateisha, are you there?
Yes, I am here. I really do appreciate the point that Simon made, and I really agree with everyone else. But I am 27. I'm a mother. I have a 5-year-old son. So that's kind of made me separate and apart from anybody else. So, as Simon stated, you have to arrange your life and decide and know what you want. You have to arrange your affairs, because having a son at 5 years old, it is really difficult as a young person, especially when you don't have that support person to look after your son for you when you're not around. Because for me, planning to go back to college September, it can be very difficult because I have to choose doing it part-time because I cannot board, because I have a son to come home to, a son who is looking forward for me to.
Okay, we're having a little connection issue. You know that happens from time to time.
Do anything. So I really appreciate Simon's point and everybody else's point. But I must also say children are blessings. I don't regret having my child early, and it also helps me to mature more. So when I tell persons that I am 27-year-old, they can't believe, because they say I act like I'm 35 and I think like I'm 35. So it's really a good point, and I encourage any young persons to set their life first, make them a priority. So think about you first. Don't be a follower. Love what you do what you love, and everything else will fall in place.
Okay, this is very interesting because I especially as an adult, older, I didn't know they were still doing that. So I'm surprised. I couldn't stand it when I was a kid, so I can't believe they're still doing that. But okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. All right. I'm gonna let everyone at least voice one of their topics, and then we can have what time left. We can see if we can come up with some type of solution or resolutions. Or if someone wants to, if someone right now has have a solution, maybe or advice or suggestion as to how we can maybe nicely cut down on pressuring the youths, or why do we feel that they may need to have a children now? Do we have anybody on here that has that feeling? Okay.
No,
at all.
It all goes back to, right, because at the end of the day, I'm so happy that Simon spoke first, because it all goes back to what he said earlier. At the end of the day, for the young lady who just spoke, the thing is, when you have your life set before you, and you go ahead and you prepare all the things that you have planned, and you get these things first, then when you have your family or your child, you focus on them. However, there are situations where children come before you get a chance to settle and focus on what you want. Now, when the child comes into play, that child has to be priority, right? Because my son, for me, my son is my world, right? So I will put myself aside and ensure that he is fine. So when there's a child involved, then the focus is now on the child, especially if there's more than one children. So even if you had planned to go back to school, if you had planned to do other things to elevate yourself, because the child is involved, you have to think about the child first. Well, most persons would do that, right? So to lessen the pressure for those who don't start having children yet, you it's not like me where can reach the age of retirement. For persons who are young and beautiful, you have a lot of time to get your things in order. You have a lot of time to finish your education properly, achieve your goals. So when it's time to have children and settle and marry and get your things together, you can enjoy the rest of it. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I think that's valid. That's valid. We need to cut back on that. I mean, I don't know why we're pressuring the children to have kids, those who are, to have kids or families so soon, when we know that it's a big struggle. Don't get me wrong, as Queen Bee said, it's beautiful to have children. I'm a mother as well, but I am one that can say I wish I waited before I rushed into having children before I was ready, because it does throw off your life and your path. So that's Simon, you really hit a good topic there. Queen Bee, could you tell us one of the topics that you'd like to discuss, since no one else seems to have any questions at the moment, and we kind of relished on that one?
All right, so the topic that I want to discuss is farmers to be more bee sensitive.
Okay.
So it is, because a lot of farmers don't take into consideration the bees, since it's not really a part of their thing, what they do. But I would like to discuss the role of the bees, not only on humans, but also on the environment, and also like to sensitize farmers how helpful the bees is to them as they do their production.
Okay. So go right ahead.
All right, so when you think about the bees, the roles and the function, so research has shown that if bees were to disappear off the earth, humans would only have 4 years to live on this earth. That is to say, bees play a very important role on this earth.
bees are very friendly to nature, and what the bees does, whatever we eat, whatever we do, the bees has to pollinate that. And studies has shown, just for reference, for you to have a well-shaped and good-sized watermelon, that flower of the plant must be visited 7 or 8 times by the bee for it to be well fertilized. So when we take into consideration the bees, they play a very vital role in human and nature on a whole. So for example, I am a beekeeper. I always tell a lot of persons, when you're especially spraying chemicals, you must be mindful of the bees, because chemicals can harm the bees, and when harm the bees, it harms the environment, it harms food production. So what it does, it will lessen food, because if there is no bees to pollinate, they won't have any food, we won't have any food, or we'll have less food being produced to feed the nation. Also, the bees as a business, it's very productive, because when you think about it, being an apiculture and getting into the business of an apiculture, it shows me that it is a viable business. It is very fruitful. It is easy to multiply quickly, because I've started 2 years ago and I started with 10 and I am almost at 200. So I'm way over 100. I'm almost at 200 and the returns are great. So honey, and then honey on a whole that the bees produces, it helps in a lot of ways, have a lot of health benefits. It helps persons with diabetes. It is natural sweetening for them. So if persons could appreciate the bees more and spray at the right time and treat the bees with respect, we'll not only be saving our environment, but we'll be saving ourselves.
So how could we go about doing that? And matter of fact, I was really shocked to hear. I didn't know without bees, we'd be dead within 4 years. That's serious numbers.
Yeah. All right. So for most of the chemicals that farmers use to spray, on the labeling, it speaks to the bees. So it will tell you that you must be mindful of the bees when spraying. So what is recommended, that you spray very early in the morning. So you spray before the bees come out to forage, or you spray very late in the evening when the bees gone home.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not only a beekeeper, I'm also a farmer. So when I go on my farm and I am going to spray, if I go there late, I ensure that I walk the field, and sometimes you'll see the bees there. So you know you can't spray at this moment.
You said you're a farmer. What type of crop do you have?
For right now, I have pineapples, pumpkins. I planted sweet potatoes. So when you're spraying those crops, and some of these chemicals, they definitely mention the bees on it, because they're very harmful to the bees. And sometimes these bees go into that farm foraging, and when they're being sprayed by the chemical, they survive to reach back to the hive. And when they go back to the hive, that can destroy the entire hive.
Right.
Oh, yeah, contaminate.
Wow. That's interesting. Any Flavius or Courtney, Chronicle, you all have any questions? I'm learning stuff today. I didn't know that.
That's a whole lot of knowledge there.
I have a question. Where can we get your honey?
Say that again. Where can we get what?
Honey.
Her honey.
I have honey in sale in Kingston, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, Manchester. So, or you can contact me. I also have an Instagram page, St. Best Golden Honey Drop. I also have a YouTube channel with a lot of information there. It's St. Best Golden Honey Drop. So you can contact me. My telephone number is 328-5550.
You have no distribution in St. Mary?
No, I don't have any distribution in anymore, but I can also zip mail it to you because I do shipping as well. I ship overseas as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. We'll talk after.
Okay.
I need to get some. Yes.
I think
No
Marge
problem.
had something she wanted to say.
Good morning to all the guests on. And I would like to say that's a whole wealth of information that I didn't know as much as I'm a Jamaican. And what I would want to expound on this morning is pertaining to children. In terms of how parents deal with their kids, how they are basically selling their kids because of, I would say, wants, because I wouldn't say it's needs. And I think in Jamaica, we have a tendency where we tend to say, oh, if the person can help the child, which in turn helps you. So we in turn try to sell our children to older men or to people who are more financially stable. And that is something that we need to get out of as parents. You know, and I mean, it sicks me to the core when you hear, even that is one of the reasons that cause molestation. Because, for instance, now a woman will take up a man and you realize that something is going on. That
Queen Angela, could you mute your mic for me, please?
And
continue, Marge.
That is something that we have to cut out. As parents, we need to stand up and protect our children. And we need to teach them the right morals and values in terms of how they go about dealing with men, teach them to be independent, teach them to go and find a job, you know, and stop trying to piggyback off the children's back where, oh, the man, they are big man and him can give you money and you send the child to him, or, you know, you just sell out your child, basically. You know, we need to cut out of all of that, because at the end of the day, it's coming back to haunt all of us. Because when they grow up and realize certain things, or they can't function properly in society, because a lot of kids are molested at a young age. They don't have an open relationship with their parents. So they cannot like come to their parents and say, listen to me, this has took place. The mother either say, go on a lie you tell, or I can't afford to lose Mr. So-and-so because he's providing for us. I was a single mother with a daughter, and I choose to go out and find whatever jobs that were available to support myself and my child, because I decided that, hey, I wasn't going to bring a man in my house and I don't know anything about him, and I have a girl child in my home. So we as parents need to protect our kids, and we need to talk to them about even family members, because when you check most of the molestation, it comes from family members and close relatives. Because, oh, may I leave my daughter over so-and-so, and our boys too, because don't think that boys aren't molested, you know? So I think that's my take on all of what is going on, because I have a passion when it comes to kids, because there is too much taking place, and we need as adults to protect our kids. Look out for them. Even if it's not your child, reach out. If you see something that looks off, try and say it to somebody else. Report these people, because pastors are doing it, teachers are doing it, coaches, uncles, stepbrothers, stepfathers, whatever. And that needs to stop. And we are the people who have to stop it.
That's good. I agree 100%. And the fact that I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to ask Dom, the poet, because if she could come in and further that topic, because that's really her area of conversation that she wanted to discuss. Dom, are you there?
Yeah, man, but yeah, it's ironic because as soon as I heard her start talking, I'm like, wow, look at that. Because even though I'm young, I have a huge passion for children. So I've been working with children for a very long time, either just like babysitting or helping out in the church and stuff like that. And just not even just today, for so long, you see, so many children being manipulated, being abused. And then, people wonder why they don't grow up and be something great, like they dream for them to be. And it's like, how can you expect that from them if you're not even treating them good? If you're not giving them that proper nurturing that they need to have? And then even as I said, you just say, oh, better passwords, you go over there, say you get some money or whatever. That you're not listening to the child, finding out, okay, what do you want to do in life? How can I assist you in getting there? And I think a lot of, not just in Jamaican culture, I think it's more of a Black people thing where there isn't that open conversation, especially between mother and daughter, mother and son, father and daughter, who kind of just, especially with sons, they kind of just feel like, say, oh, yeah, man, now you reach them age, yeah, I don't need to talk to you about nothing. You know when you want to go to road and do it. And that is why a lot of men, a lot of young boys, if something happens to them, they're not going to say anything. I mean, I have a lot of friends who boast and will tell me, say, oh, I lose my virginity when me at this age and me at that age. And to them think, say, oh, it's something good. But it's not. And when they don't really think about it and realize that they were abused or they were manipulated, they were fooled to think that, oh, yeah, because me a big man and you're a little boy, I get my things, so you have to feel good about yourself.
Right.
And from that young age, it kind of turned them into, more sexual beings because them just start focusing on sex. And that is why a lot of like young men, when you listen to their conversations, it's really geared towards just, sex and just objectifying a woman's body because they never really got the lesson to learn about, okay, what is this, what is that. We don't really have, sex education in Jamaican schools.
Really?
And yeah, we don't. Wow. And then when there is the little bit of sex education there maybe is really just telling young girls about them period and about pad and about tampon. They're not actually talking about sex and how it's supposed to be viewed and how it's supposed to be done and whatever. So children really just explore for themselves and just go into it. And I think from that young age, it really affects their brain and their growth because a lot of them focus on that. And then there's also, going back to Simon's point, unfortunately, there's that whole thing that's saying, oh, yeah, youth now, you know, get a youth. And there's that huge, I can't even find the word, but there's a huge focus here basically on a young guy when you reach a certain age, why you not have a picnic? Them not help him for reach nowhere in our life. Them just think about the fact that, oh, you have a picnic. All right, well, if he has a child, who are going to take care of the picnic? Where am I going to get the money from to take care of the picnic? Yes, so definitely, as you know, she was saying with the whole manipulation and abuse, there has to be something that more people are doing. And I feel like especially in our society, churches and religion is a huge part of Jamaica's culture and our society. It's almost like the church is ruling the country more than the government. And I feel like there is not that huge of a focus on abuse of our children in the churches. Because you have pastors over and over and over again abusing children and them get a scratch on the back and then it's nothing and then go back and do it again. So, yes and no, obviously there's other crime that still needs focus, but there's not enough focus on something like that is, harming our children and just stunting their growth. So that is why this is a topic that I'm extremely passionate about topics like this, because for me, as a child, that is how based on how you grow, that is what affects you in your adult life. And yes, some people are able to move past that and grow past that and, become better from it. But others don't have that opportunity, especially if they don't have others who realize that they're hurting to actually pull them in and take care of them. And then them just stuck.
True.
I'd like to say something. I'd like to come in and say something.
Go right ahead.
As a father. for what Dam just mentioned, seems like it's a black thing where, parents don't, black parents don't really encourage them children, hug them, tell them so them love them alone is not enough. I'm glad you mentioned, stuff like that because
True.
I have children, right? And my sons, them, and my daughter, the way we rap, we don't rap like we're friends, but I make sure, say, my boys, I talk to them, let them know, because growing up as a young man, I grew around 3 beautiful women. At the age of 14, 3 beautiful women. And each of them taught me something different. One taught me about money, the next one about how to treat women, and the other one, she taught me how to dance. And I utilize all the factors that I learned, that was taught to me by all 3 women. So when I got my son, the first one, I remember one day we have a conversation. He was like about 13. I was telling him the facts of life. I wasn't going around the corner and telling him, because at the time drugs was rampant in the US, right? And you could find, as you walk on the street, you could find all the bags or the needles, everything on the ground. And I didn't sugarcoat it. I give it to him hard, because I know in the schoolyards, people were hanging around schools before they bring in the law that if a drug dealer was caught in a school zone, he would get, like maximum penalty.
Right.
They were pushing drugs on children. So I was giving him the facts, let him know how it is. That's how we have to talk to our children. You don't have to be friend with them, but you have to give them the facts. Don't give them no A, B, C, and the B's and the flower and the B's. Tell them what happened. Tell them how children come, because I notice it don't taught in school here. They don't teach it in school here. You understand me? In Jamaica, when I was growing up, yes, we used to get that in our bio class. And sometimes, our teacher, our bio teacher, used to just give us one session where we would ask him questions. I don't know how it is now in Jamaica, but as a father, I talk to my boys, I talk to my daughter, I tell her how it is about men and women and everything. I give them the whole 9 yards. I don't hide it, because I know when other people out there catch them, they're going to do things to them where you never tell them. So when them see that I come at them can say no, or them can move away or report it. So we have to do that. And we have to talk to our boys them more, make them know how to treat women, teach them all of these things. You understand me? I hear some people say, tell them, say you love them every day. And yeah, that's good, because them need that. But hug them too. Because sometimes you see a child out there, and what the police them do when them get a young kid, when them find if them come to a home that is abused, the child is abused, or the parents them have a domestic affair, them give them a beer, a teddy bear, toy for them to hug. You understand me? So figure that one out.
True. I think Kennedy wanted to ask a question. Kennedy, could you unmute your mic for me? You wanted to ask a question earlier?
Okay. Thank you very much. I didn't want to ask a question. I just wanted also to contribute on the matter about now how we teach our children. I find that also the same thing the people who have talked before me have said in Jamaica. It also happened in Kenya. But you find that me, I'm a teacher and I'm an educationist. And I usually find time to be with my students, because you find that if you just leave them to go and find out for themselves, you find that they'll mess up. So you find that also when we talk about now the illiteracy level of now the parents. So you find that the work of the parent is to take the children to school and then leave them to the teachers. So you find that when they go back home, it is like now leaving the chicken. When they go out, okay, go and find it for yourself, and let's meet here in the door in the evening. So that's, you find that now the children are growing, that they're very distant from their fathers. So you find that, for example, for the girls, you find that now they'll find now a boy who now want to show them now what the parents are not showing them. And now you just know what the boys will do. The only thing that they're after of is now to lay the girls down. And what will happen after that? Pregnancy, and then the life of the girl is cut short. Her education, her aspiration, her dreams are all shattered. So it is up to us. I'm a father of one girl, and though she is still small, but I am aspiring when she grows up, I'll have to tell her, as now the father, sit down with them, tell them, do this and this. This is all about life. If you do this because you have a dream to achieve, you have to go higher. You don't have just to live today. There's tomorrow. So you don't have to consume everything today. Leave something for tomorrow, so that now when tomorrow comes, you can have something to talk about. Mm-hmm. So that's what I wanted to add up on what others have said. But this particular topic, it's a very big topic. It is something that we need to join hands together, because it is not a war that will win as an individual, but it's a war that we have to start with our families. We go to our society. You see how children are being brought up. Don't just leave that now. There is the child of so and so. If you can correct, please do it. Don't just leave it that now something is happening and it is wrong, and you just leave it because now, okay, the parents have left her or have left him. Even me, I'm not concerned. You are now a perpetrator of now the sinful act that are happening in our society.
Sure.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that, Kennedy, that you made some strong points that's very similar yet to Francine's, but you're right. We have to do this together. It's not a coincidence that this mix is here, because here we have Brother Anord, who's also a teacher in St. Mary. Brother Anord, are you there? Unmute your mic for me, please.
Greetings.
Wow, powerful panel. Brother Anord,
yes.
We would like your take, and as well as your topic as well, of what you would like to discuss.
Well, first, I have three things to talk about. In terms of the lady that was here, the lady. So
Queen B, yes.
Right. I think we didn't spend much time on that. I think I'm very encouraged as a young person. As I've always said to people that, you see, one of the ways for us to for those, disengaged youths is to engage in farming. And I know the value of farming. People need food.
True.
And without food, nobody can survive. So once you go into farming as a young person, you can't go wrong. And it is very profitable. See, I heard my friend there talking about, the exporting and, distributing of the honeybees and stuff. So I really like that. And I'm also encouraged to even start my little garden at home. And then this issue raised by Marge, it is a cultural issue, I believe. It is a cultural issue. And I think it is how we are socialized, and how, we kind of deal with certain things. So Marge started out, with giving us a scenario where the parent encourages the child to be engaged in this relationship. Although the child is not, of age, but the parent wants the child to be engaged in this relationship with this man, this older man, obviously because, he can give you money, he can take care, he can send you to school. Right. So I think the role that parents play in a child's life is very important. I'm not a parent as yet, but I'm glad I'm getting these lessons. I'm hearing these from experienced persons, and then I hope to put these lessons into practice, because you see, I believe one of the first place of socialization is the home. I always tell my students that how you behave right here is how you behave at home. I always tell them that your home is the first place of socialization. That's where you start to interact, you form that interaction with anybody. So I'm saying to them that what you portray to me in the classroom is how you are at home, and it leads back to the role that parents play in Africa. In Africa, my brother from Kenya can tell you, I'm just below Kenya and Tanzania. It takes a village to raise a child. You see, I remember when I was back in Tanzania at a very tender age. I remember giving trouble, and I remember a parent that I did not know reprimanding me, putting me in my place that I shouldn't do that, and I couldn't go home and tell my mother what I did.
That's right.
You see, I don't know if it's a cultural thing again, but I think we need to get back to the basics where it is a whole village that raises the child. That's my point on it. And then what I want to talk about today is really an issue that has been on the table for the past decades, from the days in the 90s with Stephen Bassiani from the University of West Indies started the petition of making Patois an official language in Jamaica. Now, it's a discussion that has several views, but my take on it is that Patois need to be constitutionally recognized, meaning that it need to be recognized in the Constitution as a language. So I have a few friends in the circle. One of my very good friends was in the panel that translated the Jamaican New Testament into Jamaican. Yes, it's not Patois. We don't call it Patois. We call it Jamaican. So the issue is, what I would really want to see is the direction I want Patois to take is that I want Patois to be recognized as a language, as a national language, because obviously all of us who have been living in Jamaica and all of us that are in abroad, Max Swanet can tell you that Max Swanet has never been to Jamaica for so much time, but Max Swanet is a very good speaker of the Jamaican language. So, and I think it is the direction that we should be. I don't know what is hindering, but the latest attempt was made by the language unit.
1 minute, Brother Anord, if I can briefly interrupt you, I apologize. But Ruth, put the poet, and Francine have had their hands up waiting to ask a question. Ruth, please go ahead, and then Francine, and then Brother Anord, I'm going to let you continue.
Yes.
Ruth, the poet, RJ, the poet, I apologize for that.
Morning, is my audio okay?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to add to something that Dam said. Talking about the lack of sex education in Jamaica, especially me as a young man growing up, and the thing that everything that I know and that I learned about sex, I had to experience it for myself. There wasn't anyone that to teach me that, this and that, all of that. I had to learn it for myself, and in the community that I live in, because I live in an inner city community, there's a very high number of teenage pregnancy, to the point that my lane that I live in, they refer to it as baby lane because in my area, as soon as girls reach 15 years old, they're usually pregnant by the time they're 15.
Oh wow.
In my community. So yeah, I think like that's like an issue that really needs like like really need to take some time and sit down and talk about that because I mean it's crazy like to the point where as soon as girls in my community they're like 12, 13 and they start showing like any protrusion in the chest and so like men start to look on them from that age. I know they say the word that they use is grooming them, they start to groom them from that age until they're at an age like probably 15, 16 or even younger than that, they start to persuade them to get indulge with them sexually. And sitting down sometimes looking at it, I think it's funny. Like the fact that like these are older men, like these are like older, like older than me, men in their 30s and stuff. And like they're looking down on these young girls. And they're trying to lay with these young girls. I mean, like the idea to me is like very crazy. But like that is definitely something like that's an issue that needs to be rectified like as soon as possible. Because like, I don't know, like usually like in my lane right now, like I can say like right now, there are lots of babies, like literally a lot of babies, like one one girl I know especially she has like 5 right now, and then you have another one in the same year that has like about 6, and like it's just like a lot of them. And they were having them since they were younger, like since they were 15, 16. I know they're older than I am right now. But like, yeah, like there's no like sex education is something that seems like taboo to me when I think about like it seems like to the older to most of the folks in Jamaica don't. It's like it's something that's taboo. Like I don't think like they see the need to sit down and talk to their children about sex. Like this is the only form of sex education that I know. They just say don't have sex. That is it for sex education. Like they just say don't do it. There's no talk about the what can go wrong and all this. The whole focus say don't do it. Or they will say to wait until such and such, but like there's no real discussion about it, saying like, if you start doing this and that too early, this may be the result or anything like that. There's nothing of that sort. It's just like telling them don't do it. There's no reason why they should not do it. So of course they're going to do it. And that is the problem. But yeah, that is what I have to say about that. Thanks.
Thanks for sharing that. That's I'm shocked, really. I didn't know it was this bad or even like that. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Francine, I see you have your hand up.
We definitely have to have a part 2 because this is simply amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many things I wanted to talk about, but I realized that in terms of time, we are over time at this point. But when it comes down to Marge, she mentioned something, and I wanted to share on that just for a minute. But I sometimes think the parents are to be blamed for a lot of stuff when it comes down to what the children are doing. I don't believe in persons are saying the children need their space. Of course, children need space, but at certain age, how much space are you giving a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 11-year-old? You are under my roof. I pay the bills. I should know what you are doing. There is no way you can leave my house at 10, 12, 15-year-old and you're going out with friends and I don't know where you're going. That's crazy. There is no way you should be watching what you want, when you want, how you want. You're going to your bed at any hours, you're coming in any hours, not under my roof. I agree that children can have space, but how many spaces are you going to give to them? We need to take the time out to look, be involved in our children's life, play an active role in their life from day one coming up. I agree that sometimes as single parents, it's hard to be working and then focusing 100%. But just as when you come in, instead of being on the phone talking from night till day, spend some time with your child, find out how is their day, how was their day, find out did you do your homework. You know much children especially even with the online classes now. You ask, did you do your homework? And from the child say, yes, that's it. There is nobody who go and check and follow up to find out if really and truly the homework was done. COVID has taught us something, not to leave our mask, right? And when you wear your mask, persons are looking at you strange, like you're wearing the mask, you're still wearing the mask, even though we get some time at ease of, yes, still wear your mask because it's a form of protection. And it's the same way. When young persons are not sexually active, others look at them like, so you reach 15 and you don't have no boyfriend, so what? So what? If not because it's the norm for you, it's not the norm for me. So you have to be a leader in your own self, you know. Brother Anord mentioned that he wanted the patwa to become to be legalized, you know, as not legalized, whatever it is that he had mentioned.
Right.
And I realized that from Africa, he's now in Jamaica and he's speaking the patwa perfectly. So I don't wrong you. You want it to become one of the native language. That's my point.
Thank you, Francine.
Yeah, Max, a quick thing before you go. It's just an observation though, but questions could follow from it. I noticed during March presentation, she made a very valid point, and I was just looking, and she made me look at this correlationship between, unemployment and teen sexual activity. Because, I see that there's a real correlationship based on the story that she was talking about, how women sell their children or their child, so to speak. And, at the next time, maybe we can explore it a little bit deeper or something.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a part 2. Definitely. Yeah. Thanks for that, Courtney. Brother Anord, yeah. Could you please continue on with making patois the Jamaican language?
Yes.
Sound good to me.
Yes, so one of the issues that is preventing patois from becoming a national language, I believe it is how it is viewed in society, especially by the upper class persons. So, from the days of slavery, it was a language that was prohibited. The slave masters, they did not want the slaves to be speaking that language, first because they could not understand what they were saying, and they thought that every time they spoke that language, they were maybe plotting against them. But I think the patois that was created, I think it shows the brilliance of our forefathers. For them to come all the way from Africa to Jamaica, and they didn't know how to adapt to the current language, but they formed their own language, hence allowing them to adapt to their new environment. And so this is a very good thing. And if we legalize it, that we constitutionally recognize the language, it means that we are showing respect to our forefathers that were here and their hard work that they put in order to make this language an official language. So that's my take on the whole issue.
I think you make a valid point, because the language is being lost. I being born here. A lot of people don't know that I'm born in America, in Brooklyn, New York, actually. And I remember when I was growing up, I was the only Yankee. So I was the only American born while everybody else was from Jamaica. And I couldn't wait to get into the language, and I'm born speaking it. We're hearing it every day. And now as I've gotten older, it's not even being used as it used to, that I can say certain things, and a real elder, like in their 70s or 80s, someone please mute your mic, thank you. And they will say to me, where you get that? A long time in a year, where you know about Wappy kill Philip and all them something? We've lost it. And I being born here, I make sure I hold on to it, because It is a part of who I am. When I speak Patois, I'm home, I'm there, even though I'm not physically there. It's how I stay bonded. It's how I stay connected. It sets me apart from others because it stands up as Jamaica. So, I'm with you 100%. And I really think that we need to work on making it the language. I'm with you. We got to have you all come back again. There's so many topics, everything that everyone brought up. The first three were kind of eventually tied into each other, and yours as well. We have to have a round two because we need to really discuss. This is very vital. We need to discuss more about the food and the agriculture, because if we don't have nothing for we are going there will be no discussion. So this is important with the bees. We have to discuss this further. Relationships, how we're dealing with our children and pressuring them. And again, the abuse, it's too much. We have got to deal with it. We can no longer sit on the back burner as adults and elders and act like it's not happening. We have got to do something, and that's why we have this forum. And I thank each and every one of you for being here and participating. I have a couple of guests here as well that I'm so happy to see you, Brother Taku, Queen Angela, Alex, Kennedy, Marge, everybody just coming through. I'm so happy to see everyone. I saw Sister Carol, Jamaica Green is here. It's a beautiful thing to see the youths and the elders. And if we continue to do this, we can fix it. I really feel we can fix it. I wasn't in broadcasting. My first broadcasting, Brother Anord introduced me. The youth with the elder. We can do this. Franco?
Yes, Max. Thank you very much.
Say something, please.
Yes, please.
Say it before we leave.
Yeah, man. Okay. First thing I'm going to say is that we don't need a part two because the Caribbean Youth Voice is a continuous process.
Correct. That
we're going to be having all the time, and it is much more than what happened today, but it will be here forever. The next thing is that the topic that Simon started us on, I don't know how many of you realize that is the main cause of everything bad that is happening to Jamaica.
True.
Everything stems from that, from us not having functional families, functional kids, functional parents. And that is what needs to be fixed for Jamaica to be fixed. So I think it's a wonderful topic, and it was dealt with, greatly by our panel today. And I must say again, Caribbean Youth Voices is a platform for the youth, for you to come and have this type of discussion, and it's a Caribbean podcast, it's Caribbean Youth Voices. So we're going to have people from all over the Caribbean telling their stories and telling us what is happening. And please come back with your solutions. What can be done? What should we do? What shouldn't we do? I'm very, very happy about this morning. Very, very happy.
Can I leave you folks with a poem of what I actually see is a new trend of the younger generation, especially our boys in the more depressed communities, where youths as young as age, I would say maybe 13, have taken up to drinking. And I think everybody's comfortable with it, or majority of folks are comfortable with it, because nobody's trying to say, because I know that drinking at an early age has a lot of challenges with your brain in growing up. So I will just leave you with this. It's written since week. It's called Cup Life. Every day you get up a sup. Brother, when are your cup? Rum and boom, Campari and boom, bag juice and rum. Lean up and ends a hum. Tune in your ears a beat like a drum. I give you a vibes to beat more rum. Spliff in your hand, rub out, one in your mouth. Your brethren, you give a shout, under him arm is a buckler stout. Grab a mix with weed, I talk about how much girl you plan for breed. Beg a Rizzler, beg a light, hold the corner from morning light until night. Spliff in your mouth, one behind your ears, wasting your younger years. Every second you lift your cup, you take a sup and swear a girl I forget. Boom for tea, lunch and dinner, weed, liquor and grabber for supper. Tight pants and exposed underpants, when your foot is a bank rubber. Lean pon the fence till it frail, loosen up every nail. Lean pon the wall, every girl pass your call. Watch every car pass and discuss artists we bad. No hustle, no work, not even a part-time job. Now blame everybody, but somebody no must end up a rob. Bleach out or white, everybody's skin bright. Me just attack, it's not a fight. Weed and rum and boom, boom and rum and weed. Tell me how you plan to succeed. Worse if you find out your girl a breed. Hoping your mother take up the slack out of the meager meals of chicken back. She still a do days work at the corner shop. The house still a board and she can't afford black. Your baby mother still catch with her mother, which is our grandmother. Yet you still hold the rum cup for sup. Behind your ears is a spliff tail. My youth, is it you or the system fail? No wonder so many youths end up a jail.
Well, this one is a bombshell. Well, this
And that's
one
the
is a
reality of
bombshell.
life.
That's
Because
a
I tell
serious
people,
thing.
I don't write fiction, I only write reality. And that's what I see every day.
Well, we have got to change this.
Yeah, man, that one the wicked.
Definitely.
As adults, we have got to change.
Powerful,
Because
powerful poem. I love
that's
it.
a beautiful piece. Remember, they have a saying, we say back home, your youth are you. So you see everything what we see them do, we have something to do with that. We've got to do something about it. Beautiful piece, Smart. Beautiful.
Poetry of the future.
Well, I
Yeah,
try
and for everyone, just remember that March will be coming on July
Yes.
on the Real Stuff podcast.
Okay.
Thanks, Marge.
All right,
And
Max,
thanks
you want to
again to
close
all
it
the
out?
youths.
Thank you.
You want to close it out for me, Max?
Well, I just want to say thank you to all the youths that are here, the guests that came in, the elders. It's good to be here to be able to interact in this fashion. So I thank you again. And as Flavia said, it's not round two, it's a continuation. We want to give you as big of a platform as possible so that we can sort this out. And I would like to say again, we must remember we're all in this thing called life together. Remember that. Namaste and one love.
Thank you for having me.
True. And remember, you can tell a friend to check out the Real Stuff podcast. Also like it. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe as well. All right. Well, everything this morning that was put on the table before us is it's a foundation that we have just laid. So we're gonna continue and we're gonna build on it and see if we can build a house so that we can really have the youths them into our hands and prepare them not only just for the present but also for the future. So in the language, in the Garifuna language, Queen Lubafu is gonna say the Our Father, and then Tafina gonna take us out. And for everyone inside the YouTube chat room, we thank you as also for taking time out of your busy schedule as well and for being here with us. And we also ask you to share, like, and subscribe as well. So Queen Lubafu, take it away for me.
You lead us full. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time.
I forget
Bless.
what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.